Have you ever noticed how some older people seem completely at ease in their own company? They don't scramble to fill their days with constant chatter or company. They sit quietly, yet radiate calm strength like a sturdy oak tree that needs no applause to prove its worth. For them, being alone isn't emptiness, it's freedom. It's not about isolation, it's about the rich inner world they've built over decades of living, learning, and growing. So, what makes them so strong? Let's explore the 10 powerful qualities older people develop when they embrace solitude. With age comes experience, and with solitude comes reflection. Older people who like being alone have often spent years listening to their own thoughts instead of drowning them out. They've wrestled with mistakes, celebrated victories, and faced truths most people run from. I once met a retired teacher in her 70s who started every morning journaling quietly on her porch. She said, sitting with her own mind helped her understand parts of herself she never knew existed. Her confidence wasn't loud or boastful, it was steady like a candle that never flickers. This self-awareness frees them from needing approval. Their sense of worth comes from within, and people feel safe around that calm certainty. Older people who enjoy being alone often develop a quiet kind of strength, the strength of trusting themselves. They don't wait for others to decide things for them. They plan their days, solve their own problems, and move through life with calm confidence. This isn't pride or stubbornness. It's knowing they can stand on their own feet when life tests them. One of my neighbors, a widower in his late 60s, is a perfect example. After his wife passed away, he didn't shut down or give up. He learned how to manage everything himself: cooking, handling bills, repairing small things around the house. He even started traveling alone. He returns from these trips with joyful stories of small adventures, getting lost in a quiet alley, sharing tea with strangers, finding a hidden garden. His independence doesn't mean he avoids people. It means he chooses connection out of joy, not need. And that makes his presence even more meaningful when he's with others. Spending time alone gives the mind room to breathe and play. Many older people who like solitude use this time to create. With no rush, no pressure to impress, their imagination can open like a window on a sunny day. Some paint, some write poetry, some garden, some build things with their hands. What they create often holds a special depth because it's filled with decades of memories, emotions, and wisdom. I once visited the home of an 80-year-old artist. Her walls were covered in her paintings. Some were bright and full of laughter, others quiet and thoughtful. She told me her best work came during peaceful afternoons when she lost track of time, fully immersed in colors and shapes. This kind of creativity doesn't just produce art. It keeps their minds sharp, their hearts light, and their days full of purpose. It turns solitude into something beautiful, a place where new ideas are born. Being alone doesn't mean having an empty life. For many older people, it means having a life that's full on the inside. They've spent years collecting experiences, lessons, and story, and solitude gives them space to explore all of it deeply. Instead of rushing from one distraction to another, they sit with their thoughts, follow their curiosity, and make surprising connections between ideas. Their minds are like quiet, well-stocked libraries, full of memories, insights, and wisdom. I have a friend who's an 85-year-old former librarian. She lives alone and spends most of her time reading and reflecting. When you talk with her, she can connect almost any topic to a book she's read or an experience she's lived. Conversations with her feel like opening a treasure chest. You never know what gem you'll discover. Her rich inner world makes her company unforgettable. It shows that solitude can nourish the mind, not starve it. Life brings change. It brings loss, disappointment, and unexpected challenges. Older people who are comfortable with solitude often face these moments with a quiet strength that inspires others. Because they spend time alone, they've learned how to sit with their feelings instead of running from them. They don't hide their pain or pretend it isn't there. They let it flow through them, and they heal slowly but steadily. One of the most inspiring people I know is a 75-year-old war veteran who lost his wife after many decades together. Instead of shutting himself off from the world, he began taking long walks in nature. Surrounded by trees and open sky, he found peace, step by step. His strength didn't come from denying grief. It came from allowing it, honoring it, and still choosing to move forward. That's what resilience really is. Not the absence of pain, but the courage to keep going through it. People who spend a lot of time alone often begin to notice the small, beautiful details of life that others rush past. They find joy in simple things: the warmth of the morning sun, the song of birds, the smell of fresh tea, the quiet rhythm of their own footsteps. This attention to small moments builds a gentle kind of happiness, one that doesn't depend on big events, achievements, or constant activity. It's the kind of peace that stays even on quiet days. I once spoke with a retired nurse in her late 70s who walks through her neighborhood every morning. She notices when the first flowers bloom, recognizes the birds by their calls, and feels thankful just watching the world wake up. Her joy doesn't come from having more. It comes from appreciating what's already there. That gratitude makes even her ordinary days feel full and meaningful. It might seem surprising, but older people who spend a lot of time alone are often deeply connected to the feelings of others. Their quiet time gives them space to reflect on their own struggles, and that understanding makes them gentle and kind toward others. They don't rush to fix problems or offer quick advice. Instead, they listen, really listen, in a way that makes people feel safe and understood. One woman I know, an 82-year-old retired social worker, spends her days volunteering at a local shelter. She speaks softly, never interrupts, and somehow makes people feel calmer just by being present. Many open up to her even when they can't talk to anyone else. Her compassion isn't just learned, it's lived. It grew from years of paying attention to her own heart. That empathy is one of her quiet superpowers, and it makes every person she helps feel a little less alone. Older people who enjoy being alone often carry a clear understanding of what protects their peace. Over the years, they've learned that saying yes to everything only leads to exhaustion and resentment. So they've become comfortable choosing where to spend their time and energy without guilt. These boundaries aren't walls, they're gentle filters. They allow in what feels meaningful and keep out what drains or distracts. Because of this, when they do show up for someone or something, they are fully present, not tired, rushed, or wishing they were somewhere else. My aunt, now in her 70s, has mastered this. She happily joins family gatherings when she feels rested, but if she needs quiet, she says no with warmth and kindness. People respect her for it because her decisions are always calm and honest. Her example shows that healthy boundaries are an act of self-respect, and they make her relationship stronger, not weaker. Far from being cold or distant, older people who like solitude often value their relationships more deeply than most. Because they aren't chasing constant company, the connections they choose are few, but meaningful. One of the most powerful qualities older people gain from enjoying solitude is freedom. They've spent decades learning what truly matters to them, and just as importantly, what doesn't. Because they're no longer chasing approval, They can shape their days based on what brings them peace and joy. They choose their routines, their hobbies, and even their relationships with intention. They don't say yes out of pressure or fear of judgment. They say yes because it aligns with who they are now. A woman I know in her early 80s dreamed of living by the ocean. People questioned her decision to downsize and move, but she smiled and did it anyway. Now every morning, she drinks her coffee while listening to waves outside her window. She isn't trying to impress anyone, she's simply living her truth. That's what freedom looks like, the courage to build a life that fits your soul. Solitude is often misunderstood as a lack of company, excitement, or connection. But for older people who embrace it, solitude is something completely different. It's rich, it's nourishing. It's the soil where qualities like self-awareness, independence, creativity, emotional resilience, gratitude, empathy, strong boundaries, deep appreciation for relationships, and authentic freedom can grow. These qualities don't just make life better for them, they quietly uplift everyone around them. They show us that strength doesn't have to shout, it can be calm, steady, and full of peace. So if you see these qualities in yourself, be proud of them. And if you see them in someone you know, take a moment to let them know how much they inspire you. Being alone isn't about shutting the world out, it's about building a strong inner world so you can walk into the outer world with clarity, kindness, and joy. They give their full attention when they are with loved ones. They listen closely, laugh wholeheartedly, and are truly present. Their time alone recharges them, so their time with others feels rich and alive. My uncle in his late 70s is like this. He enjoys quiet evenings at home, reading or tending to his plants. But when he meets his small circle of friends, he's completely engaged, sharing stories, listening intently, and never distracted by a phone or clock. For him, solitude isn't about avoiding people. It's about making space to show up fully for the people who matter most. And that makes his relationships warmer, stronger, and full of genuine care.